Hi there, fellow students. I'm putting together these little training videos to help you in learning Access, as I haven't seen that we've got any kind of videos on our own yet. Um, I learned Access back in the 90s. I used mostly Access 95, and I'm a little rusty, and new versions come out all the time, and you kind of have to keep up with it or use it all the time to keep up with it. So things have changed, but things are also very similar. So I'm not a professional by any means, and some of the terms I may misquote as I'm still learning Access on my own, um, through this class, of course, with you guys. Uh, the videos I'm creating short, so you can review them again and again for each steps that you're uncertain about. Creating videos is also new to me, so thank you for your patience if I pause occasionally to collect my thoughts. Um, so I'm starting in chapter 4 on page 97, getting started in Access. We are, if you're not in the book or joining us from outside, we're creating just a simple database for Steve's Sunglasses Company. Change the name just in case this copyrighted or don't want to infringe on anything. But briefly, just to note that just above this, on the same page of 97, is an outline of what the tables and fields we're going to be creating. Tables are known as classes, and fields are also known as attributes. So let's get started. Step one, we need to open up our Access. So just like Excel or Word, it should be one of your Microsoft programs. For me, I don't have a quick link, so I'm just going to click here, Access. It's going to open up. Now your window might be a little bit different depending on your version, but it's all pretty much the same. Um, Basically, it's saying here to create a new database. You can either click here, blank database, or you can click here, new database, a new. So I'll just click this one, and up will pop the screen. First thing we need to do is name our database, and they want us to name it SSS, and it's going to store it in my documents folder. You can go over here and change the location of where you'd like to be, but I'll just leave it here for now. So you click create, and this opens up our beginning window. Now, again, the book kind of shows it a little bit different. Your window might have an extra option there, but you could go and adjust it for a different version. So, like, you can make it for 2000 or even back to 95, where I was creating. But this is the automatic is, I think it's set to 2009 to 2013, which seems to be the standard right now. Okay, so the first thing is it automatically created this table. And so the first thing I would do is just to get back with the book is click on this little X, and that will delete the table and get rid of it. So we're starting fresh, just as the book. So at this point, I'm on page 98, creating new tables in Access. And the first thing we do is we're going to create a table called the customer table. So we go up here to create, click on table, and then go over here to this section here, and you got two view options, datasheet view and style design view. This is the datasheet view, and we want to go into the design view. And the first thing you do is name it, and they want us to call it customer table. Now, I learned a little bit different. You certainly can go and put in customer table, as they're saying, or but I typically like to do things a little different for organizational purposes. So I put TBL, small case, and then customer here. Okay. And I'll explain that a little later, maybe in another video, why I do it this way. You can certainly do it the other way, but I recommend avoiding spaces. If you are going to use spaces, go ahead and put it like customer and use the underscore table. Don't leave a real space there because it can really cause havoc later on. So I'm just going to do table customer, click OK, and it'll open up the back view of what my table involves in. So these rows are going to become our attributes, and column is going to be our type of an attribute, and we can put in this description. Now, the first thing they want us to do is to change the ID, and I strongly recommend that anyway, but I'm going to modify slightly again what the book says, just so you can get an understanding why. We're learning about primary keys, and you can see a key up there. But if you leave it in this newer format of Access, the auto number will just generate by itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it will prohibit you from doing changing things. Down here in the bottom, you can see some. I'm not sure what the name is, but like rules or requirements of that auto number. So it's a long integer. It's going to go up incremental, and it's going to be indexed with no duplicates, because primary keys can't be duplicated and they can't be blank. And that's part of the reason also I like auto number. And they're just going to be general texted aligned. So they tell us to change the ID to customer ID. So if you're actually doing it the way they're doing it, you're going to type in customer space ID. Again, I strongly recommend that you go customer underscore ID if you're going to do it that way. Again, avoid spaces is much cleaner. For me, I'm just going to, instead of saying customer ID, I'm going to put customer PK for my primary key. And then just to stay on, and I'm going to leave it as auto number because that's the way the newer version is coming. And then if I want to, it's the I can put in anything here, like it's auto generated by computer primary key. So any description you want can be there. So the first field that I'm going to create is what they want, and so we'll go ahead and just do it their way. So customer, and though I'm going to put the underscore instead of leaving spaces. So customer number, and they want us to change this from short text to a verify here. They want us to change it to a number. Okay, so we click on number, and then we have some options down here at the bottom. So that they want us to keep the long number, and they want us to make it auto. They also have a default of 0, and under the validation rule, this is going to keep it, force you to keep it in like. You put in the word like, and then quote, and 6 asterisks. Number signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. End your quote, and you can put a little text that's going to show up later in your database so that people understand why. You put in that customer number should be 6 numbers. So what we're basically saying here is that the first number, instead of being 0, is going to be, or 1, is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, or 0, 1 at the end. So the next one would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, etc. So this would be kind of a secondary primary key, but it's not, we're going to use my PK in the future. But this is where you, following the book, you can make changes to it. That's why I typically stay with this auto generator. Then it's not it can't be changed. Well, it can be, but it's not easy to change it. So it helps you follow the integrity rules that you need to follow. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create some extra fields. All right. So we're going to create a customer zip field. And they want us to call it customer underscore, again for space, zip. And they want it to be a short text. And they're going to add what's called a mask, an input mask. And basically what that means is that it gives you a guide, or the user a guide as to the format that you want this data to come in at. So if you'll go down here at the bottom under input mask, you'll see these 3 little dots over here. Click on these 3 little dots. We have to save the table first. Okay, so we just click yes, save the table. And then under here, zip code, it's going to give the 5-digit zip code with the dash and the 4-digit extensions. So it forces, it pushes and maybe even forces the user to put it in that format. But obviously, sometimes you're also limiting, because many people don't know what that last 4 digits are. So you could change this to be something else and create a mask of your own of just the first 5 digits. But we're following the book. So click next and click it, leave it here as this, click finish, and that's been done. So it's automatically generated this down here, the code that it needs for your input mask, and you can adjust it. Like I said, if you were in another country, you could take out one of these zeros and it would be 4 digits, or whatever. So the last thing we do is we need to key in the rest of our fields. And so they want customer first name. And again, underscores for these. First underscore name. It's also going to be a short text. Customer last name. Text. And customer address. Customer city. Customer state. And customer zip. We already got that. And customer email. Now we could add some more masks in here if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that right now. But what I will show you here is, again, you can switch the views, and so we could go to the data sheet view. Saving again. and you can see that these the headers, the first row, is all the information we have. You can see how it's difficult to read customer, customer, customer. So I would have just put name, first name, last name. And especially since I'm familiar with the Hispanic culture, I would have even put in the possibility of four names. Um, it's very common. Uh, so you can stretch them like Excel, so you can just make it wider. And so we can spread it out so you can see everything. Hang on. And so I'll stop the video here at this point, and we'll catch you on the next video here. So that's all we do in Access. All you got to do is click the save button. But if you're keying information in, all you got to do is go from one cell to the other cell. I'll try to explain that in the next video.